No. We're live. Hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. Shelley has left me to do the stuff.
All right, listen, taking that stuff off. Yeah, that's
right.
Good.
So we're here. And if we disappear, we'll come back. I'm going to try not to touch things that I know I shouldn't touch. But we're here. Anyway, it's a bit grey out there.
This is one of the people who don't like the sun. For all the people who have been complaining about the heat wave and the weather, this weather is for you. It's for you. That's all I'm saying.
This is
I've
where
got a jumper on.
This is where English people complain, right? They complained last week. They're going to complain this week. And I'm going to try not to complain because it's not as hot, and that is good. And if my washing dries, even if it's grey out there, that's also good. That is also good. But yes, we are here, and we haven't been here for a couple of weeks, so we're back. We're back. How are you doing, Nike?
I'm good, thank you. Well, it's good. I came back. I was away and you were away. I mean, we're here complaining about 34 degrees. I was in Marrakesh where it was in the early 40s. It was crazy. It was really hot, but it was different. It's not like here. And I suppose because we expected it to be hot as well. When you go away, you're kind of expecting it. And the places are set up. I mean, even the air conditioning is different. It's not like, yeah, but it was very nice. It was very nice. I was like 2 steps away. My bedroom was literally 2 steps with my stride away from the lounger next to the pool. Where the villa. No, listen. This day we went to walk there. Literally, I was hopping. I'm like, oh my God, the first time. And then I thought about everybody back in England. I thought, oh my God, this is how the dogs in England feel.
Yes. That heat on the ground, which then is on their paws, poor little doggies.
Yeah.
But you had a lovely time.
Yes, thank you. It was very good. And then I came back, and then you were not here. So I trust that you had a lovely time as well.
Well, I didn't go abroad. I didn't get on a plane. I literally went up north. I went up north twice. I went up north, to be fair, and had some time up there with my brother and my family. So that was very nice. Yeah. And we went and did some things, and we went to different places. So yeah. There is another world outside of Luton.
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
I most probably wouldn't believe it because I am always here, but there is. You just need to get in your car, drive for a couple of hours, and there you go. There's other life up there.
It's actually funny that you should say that because when we were in Marrakesh, we stayed in these 2 really large villas. There was loads of us there, and it was nice. It was in Marrakesh. It was abroad, to use your analogy. But then a friend of mine, they've gone on holiday in North Wales. And if you see the picture of their villa, oh my God.
Really?
So,
yes.
Just to make your point, there are loads of different things outside of Luton, but there are also very nice things outside of Luton in the UK. So yes.
We have got Shelley in the background. She is busy at the Irish Forum today. So as we put out there on our Facebook page, etc., we are going to talk about Jason Arday today because I want to.
Well, and it needs talking about.
We need to talk about him, and we're not, so unlike loose women who we are compared with quite often,
And we are better than.
we don't have a teleprompter. We do not have all the information that they have access to. But actually, we're quite real. We are real people, and we have feelings around this. And it's, I don't know, it's horrendous. It's horrible. It's the sadness. I cannot even imagine what his family are going through, let alone what he went through as well. So what's your thoughts, Nico? Where's your mind?
It's awful. It's one of those moments that you do not forget for a long time. So on that evening, what day was it? I remember sat there and I thought, oh, I'm going to do this. I said, oh no, let me just have a scroll for 15 minutes. And I opened Instagram and this lady that I follow, Kelechi, she was screaming. I thought, Kelechi, why are you screaming? So yeah, my thoughts are that it is just... I shouldn't be shocked, but I am. It's 2026, and for us to be having this nature of conversation is just it's diabolical. That's the word. It is absolutely diabolical. To just think that this guy was hounded and hounded and hounded. And when the story first broke, I thought to myself, I'm not going to get involved in this story. I instinctively knew it was a story that was going to upset me. I don't know why, because it was just an innocuous story. But I think it was because I remember when he was appointed.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, oh. And I thought to myself, well, it was the newspaper. I don't believe anything they say anyway. And of course, he was exonerated, etc. And then I saw the headline that he'd resigned. And I remember I was in Nisa, this Nisa around the corner from us here. And I remember standing there looking. I was thinking to myself, oh. But still, I thought, I'm still not going to go because I just knew. So for me to now find out that upon all that, the hounding then still continued, it still continued. And the other thing that is really not sitting well with me, and obviously I do not live in that world, but for me to believe that a lot of these investigations were instigated by somebody who is very well known to have very extreme views is just beyond ridiculous. So yeah, so those are what I just thought initially. But then of course, then when you start digging down within and people send you things and you see statistics and stuff like that, it's just awful. And the thing that makes it even sadder as well, that this is, to me, is just a typical method of operation for the British press. Unfortunately, it has now culminated in somebody's life not being here anymore. I'm sorry, but it is my opinion. People might not agree with me. It's the same thing they did to Meghan, Harry's wife, but luckily she had Harry and she had the means to uproot. And even after having uprooted, they still continued. But it just seems this is just normal. This is just what they do, and I do not understand where this greed for this level of nastiness has come from.
I should have started by saying a trigger warning, because obviously we are talking about suicide. We are talking about somebody who has ended their life, and I am going to try my best to not swear. I'm going to try my best to not swear. I am going to try my best to not say anything that's going to make the Simply Together show be taken off of Facebook and Instagram. All right, I've been told by my boss, all right, Mrs. Bailey, that Shelley needs to keep me in line, but Shelley's busy, so she can't keep me in line because she's busy. But I am going to try my hardest to not swear, because it is part of my everyday language.
What you need to do, let me tell you how you cannot swear, right? Just hold it. Then when we come off air, Go watch the video I sent you again and sing along to it. The one with the spider.
Okay. So yes, it is. I don't even know. I don't even know where you start. It is. Trisha sent us a message. Our lovely Trisha. Hi, you two. I came back last night from 3 days in Edinburgh. I totally enjoyed the city. That's on my list of to-dos. Is Edinburgh.
Same.
We need to go together, Nico.
Yeah. Let's take the Simply Together show to Edinburgh.
Oh, okay. There we go. It rained though. Well, what do you expect? It's Edinburgh. But only as they were heading to the airport bus. That's really good.
Yeah.
So she's literally only been back a little while.
So she brought the rain.
Yeah. Oh, yes, she brought it. It's your fault, Trisha. She's read some awful things directed at Jason Arday. Completely shocked at some of the comments. So this all started right from the accusation of plagiarism. Now, one of the things that has been said that has come up is that there's been other people at Cambridge University who have been accused of plagiarism.
I wrote down the list. But it's in
Go on then, get that list.
I get it. So you continue talking. I'm just going to go get it.
So there's been other people that have been had that accusation of plagiarism, and I've actually been found guilty of it as well. To be fair, right? But this is a black person that was accused, found that there was nothing to answer for. He didn't plagiarize. But then the hate then just continued and continued and continued to the point where he felt he had no other way to live his life in this world. So he then ended his life. What the hell is that? What do you mean? So somebody is accused of plagiarism. People are accused of that on a regular basis, right? I'm pretty sure if somebody read my dissertation properly, they could have said the same thing, but they didn't. So I managed to pass my degree. Okay, it's a common thing, but the hate that followed that is specific.
The thing is, I don't even think in my opinion, humble opinion, plagiarism and all malarkey is just a vehicle. It has no longer anything to do with plagiarism because, like you said, other people have done for it. Off the top of my head, right? Do you remember when I can't remember who was in charge? I've stopped thinking, but remember when all the issue about Rachel Reeves first came to light, with the fact that it was said that did she not declare a property? I can't remember what she did. Along the line of here. And I distinctly remember thinking to myself, but anybody could do that. She could, it could have been a genuine mistake.
Yeah.
And they talked about it for 5 days. It became fish and chip fodder. And she's back in government again.
Yeah. Yeah. But this, and as you're saying, that was just a vehicle to continue the hate. That had already started when he became the youngest black professor in Cambridge. Right. So it had already started from there. All those lovely posts that people had, you read some of those comments and that hatred then starts from there. The racism starts from there. Because the comments that people have made. And what so it's just absolutely unthinkable that a man in his 30s could then be a professor at Cambridge University because he's black.
That guy, the guy who started it, and I can't remember how to pronounce his surname. I have no desire to pronounce it. I have just like but he says that biologically black people are not intelligent compared to white people. That's what he says. That is his belief. And he's on record for saying it. And
Shelley's here now, so I can't swear. I can't swear.
His views
but
were so extreme that even as much as a lot of the blame could be put on Cambridge University, got rid of him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so that's why they started pointing the finger at this one. And yeah, I mean, I've got that list here. I've got here Simon Golden. And the key thing is, if you know any of these people between you, I'd love to know. Simon Goldhill, Dr. Peter Hutchinson, David Latham, we came up on more than one list. Sylvia Goldman, data manipulation. Oh God, yeah, I didn't write this person's name, but he was basically they're calling him the diversity poster boy. That's what that other person said there.
Because you can't get it just on your own merits. You've got to be a poster boy.
That's just it. It's
some of this as well. I mean, I know that it has come in because of his colour.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick the racist bits on there, but I do want to sit here as someone else that it's someone that's autistic.
Yeah.
And for someone that's autistic to be told that they have lied or done wrong is something that's very against what they would do. So he would have been panicked. The fact that his dissertation or whatever it was that was given in, as he said, yes, I did wrong in as much as I didn't make it clear what bits I've taken from wherever. But it's not that the whole thing was classed as plagiarism, and he decided to step down because he believed he was wrong. He was then asking people, I'm not coping with this, but they still carried on. Now you've got all the extra bit on it that's to do with racism and how people have jumped on it, the particular people and how they've jumped on it. But I've known Jason, I've seen interviews as he was, just before he was actually then given his professorship. And everything that he talked about was everyone loving each other.
Yeah.
Which is what the majority of time that people with autism, and I say that with my own thoughts and beliefs, being around a lot of children and young adults with autism, and especially Down syndrome, they do not like conflict. They do not like other people hating each other.
Yeah.
They know that it's wrong. They don't like it. So you've got that as an underlying thing, let alone having the racist thing being put on top. And this was his love. This as an autistic lad, he would have had this as his thing. And to understand autism, if once they get one thing that clicks, they do it so well, which is why he managed to get to where he was as a professor and did all the things that he did. And for someone to belittle that down to how they were actually reporting and carrying on reporting when there wasn't anything to then say he did completely wrong. It was that one bit that was picked up, and then everyone kept picking on it.
But the thing is, Shelley, if they just picked on the idea that he committed plagiarism, you could kind of take that. But the fact that they went back and tried to say that he lied, that he wasn't this or that, does he really have autism?
Did he run the amount of marathons that he said he run? Did he?
Yeah, exactly. It's just mad. It's in fact, what you said just even makes it worse, because if you think about it, this is somebody who said who's got the attributes that you have described there. Rather than them thinking to yourself, okay, if you were inside your normal workplace with our normal anti-discrimination, etc., laws that are in place, that person, you wouldn't be able to do those things. Yet.
Yeah. I mean, if you tell anyone with autism, like, they pick hole in the work that they've done, they've spent all their time in making sure they got it right, because they know Once
Yeah.
you've got the autism thing, everyone's, even though no one is, they believe everyone's looking at them, everyone's looking
Yeah.
at what they're
Yeah.
doing, and it has to be right. If you was to then pick one little hole saying, well, should that be green rather than red, for instance, when you're colouring in,
Yeah.
that's it. The whole thing is wrong. The whole thing is bad. I've done something bad. And that's what then goes into their spiral. Yeah.
And then you feed into all of that. If you feed into
Yeah.
how he was most probably already feeling, and
Yeah.
then you then have all of this social media that is just then adding to that,
Yeah.
that just makes that whole situation bigger and bigger. Now, we've seen people already who have Caroline Flack.
Yes.
There
Yes.
was no diagnosis of autism there, but her world collapsed around her to the point where she felt she could not stay. His world has done the exact same thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
most probably magnified
It's
because of the
it's
autism.
the MO. It's the MO that is the issue here, because that's how it's amplified in. Oh yeah.
And the MO is
Every
social
other
media.
industry has regulated,
Yeah.
and the press isn't.
It all comes
There's no
down
active
to,
regulation. It comes down to when they get told that they're wrong about something, it's a most of the time it's not law courts, it's civil courts, it's
yeah,
individual individual against the paper that you've done X, Y, and Z. So the thing with Harry being over here, and the thing with all the actresses and actors that were part of that same thing, it
Yeah.
was a civil suit. It was a civil suit. It was
Yeah.
never a lawsuit, because it can't be, because there's
so
no.
it's a civil suit with a tiny little, if they're found guilty, a tiny little response, a tiny apology in the
Make a
newspaper,
public
not on the front
apology, which
page.
is two, three
They have
pages,
no
2 3 lines.
yeah, because I just saying it now, it just reminds me. Remember how they hacked the voicemail of Millie Dowler? That 13-year-old girl. I can't even remember what happened to her, but I just remember.
Yeah, the parents were trying to find their daughter, their 13-year-old daughter, and for a split second, or well, I say split second, a few days, they thought that she was alive because press had gone into her
Her phone.
voicemail and listened to voicemails.
Yeah,
They assumed it was her getting into her voicemail.
yeah.
Nothing ever came from that.
How disgraceful is that?
Yeah.
How disgraceful is that? So you have got parents who at the end they don't even know what to even think. They just know that their child is missing.
Yeah.
And then you listen to the voicemails, and then they then think, oh my God, she must be alive.
Yeah.
She must be alive. When actually, no, she wasn't. But there's nothing wrong with that. They don't have to take accountability for that.
No. And it is, oh, we're just reporting. No, you're not just reporting. You're reporting and re-reporting on something that's vaguely true, and then stirring up everything else. I mean, yeah, as I was saying about bringing around the autistic kids, I was wondering what Trish was going to say.
So in the space of a week, there was at least 250 articles reported.
Yeah.
So Trisha works within a school. She works with students that have autism, and it can be a major meltdown, even if they get one word spelt wrong.
Yeah.
And has
now
a
imagine
major impact.
imagine that in that situation,
Yeah.
where the child's in a meltdown in school because they've got one spelling wrong, and then that gets published to the whole school that child's got one spelling wrong.
Yeah.
That magnified to an adult is exactly what Jason's was feeling.
Yeah.
Because it would be something as simple as that. It was just, as far as I know, and I've been reading it a lot, trying to work it out, the plagiarism was literally, as you would normally quote a certain professor or a paper or whatever, he didn't fully put the quote. He didn't say
Yeah.
that I got this information from. That's
Yeah.
what I believe is the only thing that was wrong with that paper.
Yeah, but it wasn't even enough. Like they said, the university exonerated him. It's funny that you should say that because I can't remember his name. I think there's a guy. I think it's an O'Reilly guy where he literally used the whole two papers that his students wrote as his own and got it published, and he's still working. There was a guy there. I don't know. It's one of these guys I've written down here, but I don't know which one. So I'm not going to join the say wrong names against wrong information brigade. But that person was accused of essaying people, and then they got rid of him. Then they re-employed him. Then he left, and now he's working in the University of London.
Of course
So
he is.
that is why I say we could sit here. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. No disparaging. We could sit here and talk about the level of plagiarism that happened or the amplification of anything. But in my mind, this is nothing but pure racism. The plagiarism was just the door that let them in.
Yeah. It was just something they could pick a hole in. They could not work out one. If you're looking at it from a black point of view, because as you said, Nikkei, that there was one of them that was then kind of you're not academic. No one of color can be academic. So look,
you can only dance and do sports. Dance and sports.
Yeah, that's it. Cecile, that's exactly it. The way you reacted is how I reacted when I was trying to write it down. And he said that's what he said, that black people have no intelligence compared to white people outside of the entertainment and sports industry.
Yeah.
And then you've got so then you've then got the people that would be because he's autistic or he's young.
The young was used quite a lot.
Yeah, he can't be like that. He can't be like that. And it's like I was half expecting, if anyone's really into their TV shows, I was half expecting them to turn around and start using like the Sheldon thing. You know, the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
You've got Sheldon that's in that, and it's like a spin-off series. So you follow him as a child. And it is the same thing. He's got this autism. That's his thing. He remembers things, and that's it. And that people can't get in their heads that you kind of class as disabled, but you're doing well in something. Okay, he's doing well in one thing.
But to be fair, society cannot grasp that you can be disabled and actually you don't need a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Right. They can't even grasp that. So how are they ever going to be able to grasp the fact that you can be classed as disabled, but you can still be a university professor?
Yeah.
Because they can't understand,
People need to understand us as humans are like top trumps. Us as humans are top trumps. Some of us are better academically. Some of us are better.
Please say spades, don't say trumps.
She said it twice. I had to wait to see where she was going with that because I thought she was going to compare us to Mr. Orange Man.
I know what she was saying. That's what I said.
I know now that that's not where you're going, but for a minute I actually thought you was.
So if you're playing top trumps about cars, one's going to be better value for money. It's got better petrol, so that goes high for that. Or it's a faster car, so it goes higher for that. A person is a person. You can't put one person against the other, let alone if they've got disabilities or where that backgrounds are or anything. You need to be just a well-rounded person to understand that another well-rounded person, and we all need to be in this together to get through in life. No one can be top of everything. And where this whole thing comes from, especially the press, of picking holes in someone, because how can they do that? And then you pick a hole in it, and it's like, well, no, celebrate that they've done that. Learn from them that they can do that.
Really? They're saying they are saying that black people can only dance and run, right? Who's going to learn? Who is going to want to learn anything from anybody else if they are black, if they don't believe that they can actually even do that? But one of the things that we were talking about yesterday, and we have talked about on this show previously, is the fact that we have keyboard warriors who take one thing and then they run with it. So I can't even express the amount of disgusting, vile things that I read on the back of somebody else's post. Well, even this morning, I saw this post about the M1 was closed last night because sadly somebody jumped, and it was down by Mill Hill, and the M1 was closed both ways, right? So the post that came underneath it, that always happens in Luton because there's too many people driving too fast. And then that led on to, well, that's obviously Asian people because they drive too fast in their fancy cars. So that's why there was the road closure. It then went on to, obviously, there's always accidents. We only have accidents at junction 10, 11 and 11A because they're the Luton junctions, right? It just carried on. And then it said that somebody then said that sadly somebody had ended their life. Well, if they want to go and do that, they need to go and do that at home where nobody else is going to be affected. You should not be that selfish as to jump, which is then going to cause traffic and road closure. And I just thought, Jesus Christ, what is the matter with you people?
So much to unpack in everything that you have just said there. And I think I'm going to go for the most innocuous and least offensive one at all, because anything else would just make me cry. Do those people know that the M1 goes all the way from Edgware Road all the way up to Scotland?
No, they don't. They don't. Literally, they don't.
People do. I mean, Mum always laughs because she's moved out of Luton and is down in Weymouth, and it always ends up on the National Travel Report. Oh, there's one lane closed. No, there's not one lane closed. It is what was a lane that was now like the emergency lane.
The lane that used to be the hard shoulder.
Yeah. It's been put back in place. So it's not a lane closure. They've just not got we've got the hard shoulder back. We've not got the lane open. But
we've still got 3 lanes.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Which is what we had anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
anything, isn't it? It's literally any post there is. If you look at any single post, there will be something in there. I read a post the other day. There's an accident in Luton yesterday or the day before. Somebody had put on there, that's because they just come off the boats, they don't know how to drive. What the hell? What the hell? Why are you saying that?
That's a joke. They don't know how to drive. Oh my God. When I first moved to Luton 21 years ago, I thought Luton people didn't know how to drive because I learned to drive in London. Jokes. Honestly,
I don't know where we've got the society nowadays that you want to moan before you actually want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Because I think it goes back to what Satil said, where it's automatic, it's keyboard warriors and stuff like that.
But quite often it's stuff that they don't understand as well. But I think that's what winds me up more. When people have comments, especially to do with suicide, and some people that knowing that I know a bit about it, I would say you know everything because no one knows everything, but yeah, I know a bit about it, but they make comments and I'm like, right, okay, you got to catch me on a good week that I'm not going to snap back at you.
Yeah, because you can't swear today. Because I'm not allowed, so you can't.
But the thing is, Shelley, when you say they don't understand, right? There are lots of things that all of us don't understand. There are lots of things that even between the three of us we do not understand. But that should not be detracting from the fact that we are talking about another human being.
Yeah.
When I was a commuter, and yes, I was quite often on the train when somebody had jumped, and you would see instant. Now, to be fair, in the days of mobile phones, you get the mums out, and sometimes even the dads, to be fair, calling the babysitter, say, look, we're stuck on a train. But there was always one person who would make that comment that I'm not even going to repeat it, the same comment that you just made before. And I'm sitting there thinking, and now I'm thinking to myself, you're lucky that I was not that version of myself now, because probably you guys would not have met me, because somebody probably would have punched me in my face.
But yeah, some people still do think
why would you say that?
Yeah, do think of suicide as being selfish, and it's like, it's not. That it's a knee-jerk reaction or a long reaction of having thoughts that is the best option for everyone, not just for them.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And the other thing I would say to that as well, and this is a new thought process for me, is that we always put such negative connotations around being selfish, and sometimes being selfish is not always bad. It's just perceived that way simply because, like you said,
you can't handle it anymore. You can't. It is, you're wanting it to stop, whatever the it is.
Yeah.
And for Jason, it was just, I can't handle. I've asked them. I've told them I'm having a hard time. Other people have spoken up for me, and you still want to do it.
Yeah.
And now this is bringing shame on my family, my kids, my parents. And yeah, the only way it's going to stop is if I'm not here, unfortunately. That's the only thing I can think of going through his mind.
Yeah, and I decide, well, more so than you, I do a lot of work with young people who are feeling suicidal, and also work with people who have had suicide within their life, as in family members, etc., etc. And it literally, we do not understand. Nobody can fully understand anybody else's mental health, and how they are feeling, and quite often with suicide, it is that whole build up of, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot live like this anymore. They perceive that they are hurting people, they're upsetting people. If I'm not here, then that would be better. So when people then say those stupid things like, don't go and do it off of a bridge, go and do it in your own home, that's just absolute rubbish, because that person feels that is what they need to do at that moment in time. And we cannot. We can understand. Some people can understand. Some people can understand. Some people can't. But it's not for Jason. His life most probably just thought. He most probably just thought, I cannot anymore. I cannot.
And it's one thing to say as well, that each person, it might be something small to you. You think, well, why did you do that? Because of something small, but it's a big thing for them, and that's what you can never know. And it could be the final straw. It could be the first thing that's happened, and it feels really big to them, and they are embarrassed. Whatever. There's the whole range of that.
Do you remember years ago? And it was years ago. Like 30 years ago, and I can't even remember what they called it, but there was all that period of time where people's houses was in all of that negative equity, and they didn't even realize it. And
yes, that was around the 2008.
Yes, and they even further back than that, and people, especially men, were ending their lives then because they felt that they were going to lose their house. They had all of these debts. They didn't know what to do. And it's so easy to just say, if you'd have spoken to the mortgage company, they would have been able to help you. Because when you're in that, there is no helping. There is no thoughts of somebody helping me. I'm going to lose my house. What my family going to do? And that could have been dealt with easier than they thought. But for them, it was huge. It was massive. Massive. So what?
Yeah, because with some of the things that some of the training and stuff that I've had, they were saying about men's suicide on one of them, and unfortunately, the way a man's brain works to a female works, the men, because it's up to a certain age, they look at everything logically,
Yeah.
And if you wrote a list, if that's the problem, that's the problem, that's the problem. If I'm no longer here, the money will then go to the wife. The wife can look after the children. They don't think of it emotionally like a woman would, as in,
No.
I can't do this, or fight with the point of I can't do this because where my kid's going to go, and that kind of thing. It's the more the emotional thing. But men, it's the logical brain. And if you've got like a male best friend, or a husband, quite often if you've come to them with an emotional problem, they'll piss you off because they come out with the logical thing. And you're like, I don't want logical.
Yeah.
I need a hug.
Yeah. Because that
You know what I'm
logical.
feeling?
So when the men write those things down,
Yeah.
this and this and this and this, their logic does not say, well, if I talk to that person, that will take that away. If I do that, what it says is if I'm not here, all of that goes.
Yeah.
So for Jason, if I'm not here, those messages, that social media, the newspapers, all that stuff is going to stop.
It stops, yeah.
And my family will be okay. When actually, it's only stopping because of how disgusting it is.
Yeah. It says a lot about his character as well, that the mum specifically asked for someone to sing the Coldplay song "Fix You."
Yeah.
Now, if you really listen to songs, which I tend to do, more lyrics than anything else, that explains more about him and the situation than anything.
So Norma, sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes. No. It was. I was just going back on to Norma's bit. Yeah.
So Norma said people who say things like that may one day be close to suicide themselves, and they're most probably going to need some support. Would they go and ask for it though? Or actually, would they then feel that they've got a God-given right to go and ask for it, but not see that other people?
No, but I think that goes back to there's not understanding, as in they literally believe those things that they're saying because they don't know that they do not understand.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a case of that, well, you know, oh, you jumped in front of a train, you did this, you're young and black and therefore you're disturbing me. And then in the future, they just think, oh, damn, I'm going to make a hypocrite of myself now because that logic is not there, is it? It's just that's just how they were at that time. And I don't think it's right or that it's nice to not be able to have empathy, but I think the more the world continues on this trajectory, that is what we're going to be dealing with, because like we've talked about a lot on this show before, where you know the dismantling of the local communities, the let's live together and help each other, and like Jason said, let's all love each other. That's all gone. That's not in the interest. Yeah, I'm going down. Sorry, I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
So the trauma that is left, the trauma now that is left from this is, you know, just alone family members and friends are left with that trauma. You know, that trauma does not go. But actually, with Jason, we're all traumatized in some kind of way, because it feels huge. It's part of us. I think for me, and I've said this on the show before, and it's very prevalent. I just think the racism is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, I can't believe, but I can believe. You know, we're talking about racism going back. I remember the 70s. There was racism before that in the 60s. There's racism before that. But we're now 2026. And that racism is just growing. It is
because
growing.
they've got more permission. It's like it's gone round. It's there's so many things that people are unpacking and pushing against there. But depending on how you view life, when you really look at who's the president of the so-called free world, look at the people roaming free, look at the people that we've got in waiting here, look at the people that are Europe. There's a if young people are conditioned and are looking up to people like that, they are being given permission
Yeah.
to behave that way. They don't see anything wrong with it. And unfortunately, I am really beginning to believe that it has gone beyond education now, because a lot of the time I would just say, oh, because they don't know. But I don't know, what I meant is that they do not understand the history and why certain people are here, and why they come here, and why they risk what they do to get here, etc. I would honestly, hand on my heart, hands up, say that I would have generally excused people on those bases, because it's not their fault if they do not know, and they don't know what they don't know. But now, because
they're not learning as soon as they do know, they're not learning from it. They're still in
and because they feel that they can still continue to think the way that they're thinking.
It's easy for them to be nasty, and they don't realise. Sometimes you think they might actually think it, but the way that they say things, it's almost like a backhanded racism that's going on. It's not coming out with particular words, but hang on a minute, what you've just said, think about exactly how you said it and what you said. That's racist. And I, in the position that I'm in, and as I always say, an ally with a capital A, I will speak up or pull up someone when you're not in the room. And I've done that for many years, because I grew up in an understanding and wanting to understand, I'd think more if I explain it, wanting to understand how different cultures are, from your food to where you're going to church and all that kind of stuff. I was always interested, and I'd always had a huge mix of friends. And it never occurred to me until I kind of grew up, and then I look back at some other people's like situations and think, well, why didn't you think about why did you do that? I mean, there's one example. I worked in a call center. One of the girls, her dad died here, and he was being flown back over to India. I've forgotten exactly where, but being flown back over to be buried. And I said, are we going to do flowers? And they were like, oh, we don't know if we're going to do flowers because she's going to go, like the whole family's going to go with dad. And I said, I'll sort out flowers and get them done straight away. I know a person. And I phoned them and I asked for white flowers. Now, do you know why I asked for white flowers? No.
Tell us why.
The funeral colour for them is white, not black as in us. Their wedding colour is red. But I knew,
I know the red colour.
I knew that their funeral colour was white. The florist that I spoke to didn't know anything like that, because she's only ever dealt with white customers, I presume. She didn't have anything like that she knew. She goes, I'll make a note of that. I didn't realise that. And she just had it was just something she learned. But for me, and then when I did the flowers, and then she came back into work, she goes, I was going to call you, but it all got one. I said, no, it's fine, it's fine. She said, those flowers actually went with her. When they picked dad up, they actually went in, because they put you on
wow.
They went with her over with her dad.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I was like, I was only thinking of the fact that I knew your flower colours. I didn't want to send coloured flowers. I knew that wouldn't be what you would want.
But the problem that we have, Shelley, is you think, and you will try and understand, and you will try to make sure that you know what somebody actually needs. Whereas there's other people that we have around us who do not think, they do not care, and they will say whatever it is they want to say.
Yeah.
Right. And what we're finding now is, when you have a look at all of those bloody people. Sorry. Look at that. 7 minutes to the end.
I know, you did good, girl. You did good.
And it wasn't even a bad word.
When you look at those people that are doing their friendly protests with their English flags, etc., etc. The amount of children that are there, the amount of children. So that hate is just being passed down, literally passed down. So what are they like when they go into school? God knows what they're saying to other people, you know, and they don't need to use the P word, the N word. They don't need to use those. They can just use those slurs. Oh, have you just come off the boat?
Yeah.
Have you just, because they just keep going on and on about people who have just come off the boat. Those people who are coming off that boat, this is not the Windrush boat. This is treacherous waters.
Yeah.
In fear of their life. That's why they
spent a lot of money getting on a boat that, yeah.
Norma said it is traumatic to the wider community because yes, we are seeing how awful people are to each other. They are awful. People are just awful, and I just think that's so sad. So sad.
It is very sad.
If you don't get reflected in this, it just shows you what kind of a person you are, to be quite honest. If you're not hurt by what's going on, then you're not really you're not a caring person, but you're obviously not a thoughtful person.
Well,
I think there's a lot of information. Okay, I'm being a little bit generous here, but there's a lot of information overload, obviously, like where we've got all the social medias and stuff like that. I think people are quite desensitized to stuff. I think it's just crazy. But on that note, actually, because there's something I can't remember what you said earlier, Shelley, and I was just thinking that the people on social media aside, but when you've got the traditional people like the Telegraph, like the Guardian, and all the red top scum people that I'm not even going to give them a mention, they're the grown-ups.
You'd think so. You'd think they are. They're supposed to be. But it's also for a lot of them, that's about money as well. I need to get my piece in the paper so I then get paid. So I'm going to go and find out the worst bits that I can so I can get that in there. Money comes into that as well, which is,
Well, you can still use the idea of money benevolently. So, for example, there's a shop on Marsh Road that I go to that when it opened, it just had what it had. And every now and then go in, I would say, "Oh, do you have this?" And it would be like, "Oh, no, we don't do that." But when I go the next time, he's got it. And you know, and these are all cultural things that they could just say, "Oh, well, you know, it doesn't matter."
It's too difficult to get.
African shop in town, or it's difficult, and they do it, and then you get to know. It's I am still hopeful, but I'm just so mad and upset at the moment.
And a lot of people are. Hence why, however many thousands were at Trafalgar Square last night. You know, it's all. There's a lot of outpour around people's feelings and emotions, which is wonderful. It's wonderful. But the man whose name you couldn't pronounce and wasn't going to give him the time of day, I wonder if he is even feeling like that.
Of course he isn't. He feels justified. I've seen a note somewhere where he has actually doubled down.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he won't, because he's into eugenics. So I only know a little bit about eugenics, and I just know it's not good, and I'm scared to go read even more because I don't want to taint my lovely mind.
No.
Yeah, but how will we know about it if you don't go and read it and just educate us?
Yeah.
I know. You are perfectly correct. I'm going to give myself a little target.
There you go. People should be curious instead of judgmental.
Yeah.
You're right, Norma.
That is very correct.
I mean, it's if you're living in, I've always said this about Luton. I've always said about it. It's nothing to do with this, but it's if you're living in Luton, we should be celebrating all of each other's cultures and events and things. The council put on an event for that thing, and everyone should go along, because the more you understand about your neighbour, the more you're going to get on with your neighbour, and the better your life is going to be, for God's sake. I mean, just having all these different festivals and religions and things. I mean, don't get me started on the religious side of things. Everything all is very similar if you look at all the different religions. We've all got the similar stories. It is all people wanting to be together. And that's all that Jason said about actually thinking. If I go back to what I first said, yeah, it's everyone just being together. And we're a melting pot. We could celebrate each other. Could we
People
not?
are mean. You could take out all of those things. Take out politics, take out race, take out religion, take out this and that. I watched a video the other day. This guy, really nice guy, all he did was go to Peckham in London. And, he went around, said, oh, look at this here. And he had some food. I can't remember where the food was from. It was a culture that I do not think is represented in Luton. But notwithstanding, he went to the oldest pie and mash shop in there and showed, like the graffiti and all of that. And people were having a go at him in the comments. Why do you want to go to that set? And I'm thinking to myself, well, the guy just went to Peckham. He didn't do anything.
Because they can. Because they can. They can moan about it. They can say, well, why haven't you come to where I live? Because actually, I've got this, and this where I live. Why? Why do people come to Luton? Because actually, we are multicultural. We have got a university here, and we've got other things as well. Yes, we may not have all the shops we need. But
yeah, that will get sorted.
We have everything else.
Because people say about multicultural and what's the best thing about it. I mean, okay, I could come to your town and I could have a curry. A curry. You come to my town, you come to Luton, I'll take you to Berry Park or somewhere nearby. Not only is it a normal curry, it's like Kashmiri curry, you got like the Pakistani side of thing, and then I could go West Indians, and I could give you 20, 30.
Don't forget the fusion. Don't forget the fusion.
And the fusion.
It's all of that.
I could give you 20 different versions of curry. What am I going to get a curry from your chips?
Chicken.
Let me just say, as I said at the start, I've been up north, and I have been in Ellesmere Port. They have not got anything in comparison to what we have got. Nothing at all. And I'm just putting that out there. They have not. Oh my God. I had to take spices up to my brother. He can't get them where he lives. Seriously.
My family come from Chester, so the amount of times the Chester people, whenever my family came down to here, we had to have something different.
Yeah, because they ain't got nothing up there.
They would have one shop that was the takeaway that they would get their Indian from, their Chinese from, and their fish and chips.
Yeah.
Anyway, family from Chester, if you ever watch this.
I've got to go, girls.
You do have to go. We also have to go.
What would I want?
There's just to round this up. Okay, we're going to be back next week. We have got. You have to look after each other.
Yeah.
This has happened to Jason and to his family and his friends, but actually, as Norma said, it's also hitting the wider community as well. Lots of people are upset by this, for all of it, for what's happened to him, the stupid keyboard warriors and everything else. All of that is there. Look after each other.
As part of that, he was actually looked after. People were worried about him.
Yeah.
People were aware how fragile he was, and this still happened.
Yeah. I saw a post from a guy. I think it was from the Good Law Project. And he said that he had spoken to him. He said, look, it's going to pass. This is not the definition of you. This is just... And,
Norma, I was going to come over to Runcorn, and then I saw that you was in Scotland. Do you know what I mean? I was going to message you and come and see you, and you weren't even
How
up the
can I need someone normal?
Seriously. But yes, so they have to go to Manchester. See, that is just ridiculous. But anyway, we will be back next week. Next week we've got things to talk about. We've got our film milestone, which is on the 20th of September. We've got the Black Book case as well, which is in October. So we will talk all about those. We haven't had time today because we've we needed to talk about Jason Arday.
And if you do share this on and people are rewatching this, they're doing the replay, leave your comments.
Yeah.
Would be interested in some of the comments that we have actually got in the whole of our group. And I am going to be putting some videos on as well from the Trafalgar Square, because there's some there. I don't want to share videos here, there and everywhere, just general people talking about him. There are some videos that actually do mean stuff. And the Trafalgar Square thing was authorised by the parents, and anything has to be through them for a situation like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will see you all next week. Okay. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.